get right into it. Going from number 5 to number 1, Keelan Rutledge, a senior out of Georgia Tech. He's 6'4", 330 pounds. He entered the Middle Tennessee State program as a 3-star recruit in the 2022 class before transferring to Georgia Tech prior to the 2024 campaign. He became a first-team All-ACC selection in 2024 after starting 13 games at right guard. He was also a first-team All-Conference USA selection in 2023 with Middle Tennessee State, with 11 games at right guard after earning a Conference USA All-Freshman selection in 2022 with 6 starts at right guard. His strengths: he has a broad frame, good arm length, and heavy hands. He can brace and anchor on command against the bull rush, and he also penetrates, and his speed to power pass rush moves are very good as well. He is a solid burst and movement skills on the move with the power to jar smaller defenders, lifting them off of their feet. Couple weaknesses for him: he's inconsistent in terms of positional leverage and pass protection, creates soft edges due to settling too flat or too far against loose or wide rushers, and his upright playing style with wide hand placement quickly leads to him getting into a bad area with his leverage, and then he tries to recover, and he's unstable at that point. And edge rushers, or in this case, interior linemen, get past him. That's his strengths. That's his weaknesses for number 5, Keelan Rutledge, a senior out of Georgia Tech, 6'4", 330 pounds, at number 5 on our list.
Yeah, moving to number 4 now, Jake Slaughter, out of Florida, senior, 6'4", 305 pounds. A guy who has actually grew up not too far from Florida's campus. And has been a rock for them throughout his collegiate career. Pass protection, definitely his strong suit when you're going and looking at his strengths. Really, really good anchor, great core strength, great arms, great technique all over in the pass protection department. Also really gets good contact in the run game. There's some technique things, I guess, going to his weaknesses a little bit that he needs to work on in the run game, but has the physical mobility and has the eyes for the game that would allow him to, improve in the NFL level in that front. Does a really good job of climbing to the second level quickly, finishes his blocks, which is something that, you always want to see when you're looking through collegiate, especially interior offensive linemen, and especially with a center. And then, weaknesses, I mentioned technique in the run game. Also plays a little bit too aggressive at times, even in the pass blocking department, can get ahead of himself, can get a little too aggressive, lunge at interior defensive linemen, and that can cause penalties. So something he needs to clean up a little bit, and we saw, especially in the last couple of seasons at Florida. So overall, a really good prospect, but some technique issues that definitely need to be worked on for Slaughter in order to really improve at the NFL level.
Yeah, moving on to another center at number 3, Connor Lew. He's a junior at Auburn, 6'3", 300 pounds. He entered the program as a 4-star recruit in 2023. So now it's his 3rd year as the Tigers starting center. That's right. He started in freshman year, but it actually took until week 8 in his true freshman year. And guess what? He was already named to the All-SEC freshman team after just starting the second half of that 2023 season. Let's go to his strengths. Snaps out of his stance and plays with a flat back posture, head out of his blocks and active hands. He's quick, he's accurate, he's independent as a striker in pass protection, and allows him to latch and control reps early on in downs. He's alert, his clear eyes help him process the movement and secondary threats before providing timely help to secure those A-gaps against blitzers up the middle. A couple weaknesses for Lew that we have: adequate play strength results in regularly getting kind of flattened out on kind of those overtakes and pried open as the rep progresses. And he just has average size, weight, and mass, leaves him conceding ground more than owning it. Obviously, at 6'3", 300 pounds, not the tallest guy, not the widest frame. So that's why he's only number 3 on our list. But again, he's playing in a tough program at Auburn. He's playing in a tough conference nonetheless, as in the SEC. So number 3 on our list, center Connor Lew.
Moving to number 2 now, the senior out of Oregon, Emmanuel Pregnon, 6'5", 318 pounds, started at Wyoming as an unranked recruit in 2020, then transferred to USC, in 2023. before going to Oregon for the 2025 campaign. He started 25 games at left guard in 2023 and 2024 for USC, 11 games at guard for Wyoming in 2022. He was first team All SEC, first team All American in 2025, first team All Big Ten, also second team All Big Ten in 2024. Strengths for him: really good arm length, good heavy hands, good grip strength, which really helps him in the run game. Reliable, stout presence there. He can cover up, lift, uproot targets, and really helps out with the double and combination blocks that you see, especially in the NFL, with some of these defensive linemen that are coming through. And some of the weaknesses for him, an adequate average athlete, but nothing that's really going to, pop out on film and really, give him that advantage at the NFL level, and can get a little heavy on his hands, especially upon first contact. So leaves him a little bit vulnerable to some push-pull techniques, and definitely overextending against certain pass rush moves. So something he needs to work on a little bit, but a very, very talented player, a guy who's been successful wherever he's been in college, and is hoping to continue that in the NFL.
And to our number one player in the top interior offensive lineman of the 2026 NFL Draft, Olaiveanga Ione, or Vega Ione, if you don't want to use the whole first name. Olaiveanga is a redshirt junior at Penn State, 6'4", 330 pounds. He first touched a football, Alex, in his sophomore year of high school. How unbelievable is that to now be the highest ranked guard in this year's draft? And I was reading a story on him. It was because his parents were so strict and told him to focus on his schoolwork till they recognized that he was gone on Friday nights. And they figured out that he was playing in football games and going to practice because he would come home late, and he didn't tell them. That's pretty crazy stuff. I think that's super cool. And he ends up playing at Penn State nonetheless. At Penn State, he had a slow start. He redshirted. He even kind of started in his first two collegiate seasons. But as a redshirt sophomore, he won the job as the starting left guard, where he proceeded to start all 16 games in Penn State's playoff run. He even earned a second-team All Big Ten honors in that season as well. Going on to the strengths, his pass protection, that's where he really strives. It translates immediately to Sundays right now. 0 sacks, 0 hits, only 4 hurries across 613 snaps in 2025. It tells you everything you need to know. This guy is going to keep your quarterback clean. Now, Giants fans, I'm sure your ears just went ding, ding, ding about Jackson Dart, who took some mean hits this year. Some of those were because of him scrambling outside, but I think having someone like Ione on this offensive line would really help for the Giants if they're deciding to choose someone like him early on in the draft. He sets anchors like he's got roots growing into the turf. Bull rushers who think that they can walk all over this guy into the pocket, they're wasting their time. He does not give you any ground. His grip strength, even, it borders on unfair. Once those hands latch on to those defenders' chest plates, the rep is over because no one is ripping past him. And even trying a counter move is not going to work out, which also probably means, Alex, I'm already, envisioning him with the Giants, but training camp 2026 offseason, him against Dexter Lawrence on the interior, how much of a show would that be with all these perks that we're talking about and all these strengths? Weaknesses, his run blocking lacks the consistency of his pass protection. He wins with power at the point of attack, but when he's on the move, a little bit of more limited in that, area. And I think that goes for most offensive linemen in the NFL. They're big guys. They're not going to be able to keep up, but that is definitely a limit for him and a weakness. His lateral quickness is below average as well. It shows up against some twitchy kind of 3 techniques who can cross his face a little bit. And when a defender wins with speed and change the direction, again, he's kind of heavy-footed. He'll beat you at the line for sure if you're trying to go straight at him and get past him with some swing moves. But if you're coming at him with speed, maybe blitzers up the middle, linebackers trying to get around him, you'll have more of a shot than if you're just trying to straight up bull rush past him. It ain't going to work. So that is our number one guard, Vega Ione, the redshirt junior out of Penn State. And just going through the 5 real quick, he is number 1. Number 2, going down the list, is guard Emmanuel Pregnon, the senior out of Oregon. Number 3 is Connor Liu, the center junior out of Auburn. Number 4 on our list is Jake Slaughter, a center senior from Florida. And number 5 on our list, a senior from Georgia Tech, Keelan Rutledge. That is our top 5 interior offensive linemen heading into the 2026 NFL draft. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll shift to the outside, the offensive tackles. Who are the top 5 in that category? We'll come back from a break, and we'll tell you.
All right, back with our offensive tackle rankings. Starting at number 5, Caleb Lomu, sophomore out of Utah. Not the last time we'll be hearing about a Utah offensive tackle on this list. 6'6", 304.
Shout
Analysts
out
think
the
there's a lot of
Utes.
upside. Yeah. I guess OTU is what we're calling Utah now. And they've had a few good guys over the past few seasons. But, I guess we'll have to see how these two guys turn out. But Lomu, as analysts think there's a lot of upside, especially as he kind of builds out his frame, his strength, and kind of gets more into an NFL body shape. He definitely has the talent to be an NFL tackle. It's really just about kind of using all those physical traits and sharpening up his technique. But the strengths for him, great frame, lots of room to add muscle mass, very athletic getting out of his stance, and you see that on tape. Activates his hands with both great quickness in the run game and pass game. But his weaknesses, technique is definitely, something he needs to work on. He needs to be coached up. Didn't, have the most amount of time starting at Utah. Definitely, needs a little bit better, cohesion between his feet and arms and hands, because whether it's kind of getting out of his set a little bit too early or a little bit too late, it just feels like there's a little bit of rhythm that's off when you watch him. So a guy that has a lot of talent purely based on his physical attributes. And we've seen a lot of flashes, and a lot of analysts are thinking that he can be, a vastly better tackle at the NFL level, especially with some NFL level O-line coaching. But Caleb Lomu, number 5, sophomore out of Utah.
Alex, this next guy is probably the craziest in terms of frame that we've seen so far that we've talked about in this list. Monroe Freeling, the junior out of Georgia. He's 6'7", 315 pounds. My goodness, this guy should be playing power forward in basketball, not an offensive tackle going into the NFL. So he entered the Georgia program as a 4-star recruit in the 2023 class. He's a little older. He turns 22 in July. I mean, I guess that's actually that's pretty normal in terms of if he played, 2023? So the last few seasons. The former Bulldog finished his career with 16 career starts at left tackle, including 12 in 2025 in his lone season as a full-time starter. His strengths. Well, if you couldn't tell, he has a broad frame. He's a long torso, well-builded, a well-rounded build with good arm length as well. I mean, when you're 6'7", I would hope that you have good arm length, and he does as an offensive tackle. He has good quickness with fluid hips to hit and expand his set points when on an island, and also very good peeling off double teams and intersecting when there's scraping backers to seal those lanes off his backside at the second level. But his weaknesses. His upright play style leaves him lunging into overextensions as a drive blocker, leading to shaky, sustained skills on angle drives, base, and down blocks. He's also susceptible to drift, overset, and chase stutters, hesitations, and also tightly aligned rushers are going to get by him. So here's the thing. I mean, when you're drafting a prospect like that, again, that's something you very rarely see, a player that is above 6'5", 6'6", let alone he's 6'7". I mean, this guy is, this is a, what do you call it? A man amongst boys or something like that. I mean, whatever you want to use. And Alex, I know number 3 is pretty similar too, in terms of also a pretty good height, but yeah, that's number 4 in this class for the offensive tackles, Monroe Freeling.
Yeah, everyone was getting a kick out of the amount of 6'7" references you were doing as well. I'm sure, hopefully, people caught that, I guess, if they're into that. Josh, no hand movements was very disappointing, but here we are. Moving to number 3.
Intentional yet unintentional. Yeah, I mean, it had to do it.
Makes sense. I had to go to pronunciation school for this one, but I'm going to try my best. Number 3, Max Iananker, out of Arizona State, senior, 6'6", 330 pounds. He entered the ASU program as a three-star JUCO recruit in 2023. He actually started 14 games at right tackle last season, only 5 before that in his 2023 campaign. He was born actually in Nigeria, where he played soccer, actually moved on to basketball in high school, and actually didn't play football until he moved to East Los Angeles College in 2021. So just, I guess, under 5 years of playing football, which is crazy to think about, and now being one of the top tackle prospects coming into this class. Strengths for him: a very fluid mover out of his stance, excels at really closing off space, walling off defenders, especially in the run game. Very active in pass protection as well. Very good cutting off inside counters and other moves from pass rushers. So things we definitely are always positives to see out of tackle prospects. And weaknesses with him, obviously, we mentioned he only started playing football 5 years ago, so you can't really blame him. But unintentional, not the most, I guess, taught or most advanced footwork, especially, against more power moves from pass rushers. Definitely a little bit of a lack of awareness for certain situations and certain pass rush patterns as well. Leaves him a little bit out of sync with the rest of the offensive line. But in terms of a pure athlete and the upside that you see with him, there's not much more. There's not many that are better in this class or that have a higher ceiling than he does. So a lot of teams are going to be willing to take a chance on him just because of his pure physical attributes and the, I guess, talent we saw in his 14 games at ASU last season. But a guy who really, really has risen up draft boards if you look compared to where he was just a few months ago.
Alex, let's talk about the next player on this list. Number 2 in the offensive tackles for the 2026 draft class, Francis Mauigoa. He's a junior out of Miami, 6'6", 335 pounds. And another guy that's 6'6" or 6'7", as we talked about as our fourth player. But yeah, a lot of tall guys in this prospect class. He entered the Miami program as a 5-star recruit back in 2023. He's definitely lived up to the hype, was a second teamer on the All-ACC team in 2024. He started 13 games at right tackle that season, also an All-ACC freshman team selection in 23. In his freshman year, started 13 games at right tackle. A 3-year starter for the Hurricanes there. He is the frame of an NFL guard, but the athleticism and movement skills of a tackle. Allowed just 2 sacks and 9 total pressures this past season, helping Miami to the national championship game. Obviously ended up losing to Indiana, but still a hell of a run for those guys. His strengths: thick, sturdy, and well-rounded built with a very good play strength and square power. Delivers knockback power at the point of attack with good grip strength and leg drive to uproot defenders on an angle drive, double team, and also pin blocks. He has good body control fluidity, allows him to reposition himself, reset, and then recover better than most of the players at the same size, being 6'6", 335. Weaknesses: adequate foot quickness and range on an island and pass protection results in a short corner once rushers kind of get perpendicular to his frame. Also, his feet don't always come with him. So during the drive portion of run blocks, he kind of leaves himself overextended, and then he's susceptible to getting kind of slipped on a cleat later in the rep. So trips a little bit up. But again, most of these weaknesses for these guards and tackles, Alex, come in the run protection aspect, right? Because they're kind of running out with the rushers. These guys are big hog molly, 300-pound dudes, kind of trying to keep up with, guys that are way lesser in size and frame. So I think it kind of makes sense, but that's number 2 on this list. Francis Mauigoa, the junior out of Miami.
Yeah, and finally, with number 1, probably one of the most highly regarded players in this entire draft class, regardless of position, Spencer Fano, junior out of Utah, 6'4", 330 pounds. He started 26 games at left tackle and right tackle combined, 11 in 2023, 15 in 2024/2025. He's a 3-year starter with experience at both spots, really good in the run game, very athletic, but still room, obviously. Can't really change his height, but definitely could fill out his frame a little bit in order to be a very successful tackle at the NFL level. Usually, if you're looking at guys who are 6'4", they're a little bit on the cusp between guard and tackle, but most people have Fano as a tackle coming out of college. Strengths for him, very fluid mover, very good athletic ability, great balance, great recovery ability as well. Very good pass protector who can really mix up his hands to kind of manipulate pass rushers. Very good short area quickness as well. Good balance to kind of get out of sticky situations. Weaknesses for him, a little bit on the smaller side, of course, kind of results in him sometimes getting overpowered by bigger rushers. And definitely a little bit over reliant on flash technique in pass protection, which can expose himself and expose his chest, especially to inside counter moves. So something a little, I guess, thing that he needs to work on there and needs to get coached up on in the NFL. But in terms of a prospect that you want ready to go, starting at left or right tackle for your franchise, coming right out of the draft, there's not much better than Spencer Fano in the past few years, and he's kind of the surefire tackle prospect in this class, and expect him to go very early in this year's NFL draft. And now just recapping, starting with number 5 was Caleb Lomu out of Utah. Number 4, Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. Number 3, Max Yanker out of Arizona State. Number 2, Francis Magoa out of Miami. And number 1, Spencer Fano out of Utah. And that is your top 5 NFL offensive tackles for the 2026 draft class. And top 5 for the interior offensive line as well that we just finished up earlier.